This is Robin with Vet Comp and Penn Medical Consulting. I want veterans to know when to use the VA Claims Intake Center, otherwise known as the VA Evidence Intake Center. The VA Evidence Intake Center is a huge place in Janesville, Wisconsin. They handle millions of pieces of mail every day. They are responsible for scanning and uploading your appeal evidence into their system and sending it to the VA regional office who has your C file or your claims file. The best way to do it is either to send it via mail, fax it, or alternatively, you could take your appeal evidence along with your appeal forms directly to your regional office. You have three options for appeal, basically nowadays with a modern appeal system. You can do a decision review request supplemental claim with new and additional evidence to be considered. You can do a decision review request higher level review form, and you can do a decision review request board appeal on a 10186 form. Any of those forms that you're submitting to the VA to disagree with a decision that you received, you must submit those forms to the Evidence Intake Center, either via fax, mail, or alternatively, if you're close to your regional office, you can bring it personally, in person to the regional office and drop it off. If you fax it, the nice thing is you're going to have a confirmation number that you submitted your evidence. If you send it via mail, please send it certified mail, return receipt requested, meaning you pay $2 extra, you get a confirmation number that says that they actually received your information, your documentation, and your evidence. If you are submitting evidence to the Evidence Intake Center for an appeal, that means you've entered an appeal, and in my opinion, you should have an accredited VA disability attorney working on your case to provide a legal brief in support of your appeal. You pay money for that, it's not free, but the VA statistics show that you have a 40% higher win rate for an appeal if you have an attorney. I think it's well worth it considering how long VA disability appeals can take, years. So if your appeal is going to take years, why would you not want to spend the extra money to have a 40% higher win rate? So if you must send in evidence to the Janesville, Wisconsin Evidence Intake Center by yourself, and you don't use an attorney who would upload it for you, that can file it for you, make sure that you label it correctly. Your name, your social security number, the date that you're sending it in, along with a name of the document, because the employees at the Evidence Intake Center are not going to have time to read your document. They get millions of pieces of mail. They don't have time to look at it very closely. They're going to scan it, they're going to decide what it is, and they're going to label it in the system that it's treatment notes from your doctor, a statement from you, whatever it is. So make sure that you label it correctly. If it's a private nexus statement from your doctor, label it as such. If it's a private medical opinion, label it as such. If it's a statement, it should be on a statement in support of claim. It should be on a 4138 form, an official VA form. And of course, when they scan that in, it will automatically label it as such. But make sure you use the right label. Otherwise, your evidence for your appeal will sometimes not even be seen by the person considering your appeal because it's not in the right bucket. So make sure that you label it correctly. So that's what the VA Claims Intake Center is. They accept evidence for any appeal, which is now a decision review request. If you send an appeal evidence in, you have to send it to the VA Evidence Intake Center either via fax, mail, or in person. You can take it to your regional office. Those are your options. Thank you for listening.
The information contained in this video is informational and not professional advice. Rely on it at your own risk and see a qualified medical or other professional to discuss individual circumstances in all cases.